Welcome to the YouTube Model Builders Thursday night general hangout. Thursday's hangouts are for the general discussion on model railroading that we all can set a topic to discuss for the night. Thursday's hangouts are the proud sponsor of the Tuesday night presentations, the YouTube Model Builders, eMag, and the YouTube Model Builders live show. I want to say thanks for everybody joining in tonight's show. And here's your host for the night, Johnny Reb of Southeast Rails. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday Night Live show. Yeah, I see you guys have been waiting a little bit. Yes. AJ, I didn't have to take trash out, but I did have to go do something else. But anyway, welcome to the Thursday Night show. I want to tell everybody to go to YouTube, YouTubeModelBuilders.com. There you can find the schedule for the all the shows that we have, the Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Saturday live show. As everybody knows, the Thursday night shows are every week. Tuesday, Wednesday, those shows now are at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Thursday and Saturday, once a month Saturday show is 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Y'all can tell I've had a good day. Be sure and sign up for the e-magazine, so when it comes out you can get notified on that. And I'd like to say hi to everybody in the chat. Of course, there's AJ. Hey, Mr. Gino, how you doing? Curtis, Bob, Jay. Who we got here? Troy, Dwight, Robert. How you doing out there in California? Got Jim in there. I don't know that Newcastle guy. He must be new or something. Anyhow. Yeah, I want to say hey to everybody on the panel. So what you guys got going on tonight? I'm glad everybody's talking at one time.
Yeah, we're a live crew. We got to get everybody wound up about it.
I got something to show when we want to talk about it.
All right, you got 10 minutes or 5. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay, it's kind of a little experiment. I had a plant out. I grew some sedum lately, or last year. It would be frozen dead and couldn't grow. Though, this is kind of my experiment on the growing trees. We had like an art and pen night at
Quit spinning
a club group I belong to, and what we did, we did different stuff. I brought in a track, showed what operation is. I had a switch and everything and showed what that is. But I also brought this old diorama that actually I taught art class on it a while back. Though I just experimented. I was doing wiring at the time. I don't have florist tape right now. It's at my grandma's house. What I just used is some electrical tape. I just had that on my hand and painted it. So, and then I spray painted the leaf, the flower. You can see I picked this a little bit too late. The leaves were starting to close right here. You can see that. Though, where it's pricky still is perfect because it looks really good there. And it's a bunch of them put together and some tape around it and painted. And that's pretty much what I did.
So what did you cover the tape with? Because I've done one myself that way as a decent kind of midfield or, kind of background thing.
It's just paint and tape. I just got tape on there and then paint.
Okay. I taped mine up with florist tape and some paper tape. Whatever, Scotch tape, paper tape, packing tape. And then I coated it in like an artist gesso which has a little bit of texture to it, but they're not bad. But mine just doesn't look as good as the tops of mine don't look as good as yours. Mine look like a bunch of umbrellas stuck together. They look good looking at the top, but
yeah, I kind of cut them and then stick them different directions. I also use some spray adhesive and some glue and everything. And this is actually next time I'm going to grow a bunch more. My grandma did grow some too. I'm going to get them before they start doing this. I don't like that. Though when it's like this pricky stuff, though that's pretty much how I got it. Is I broke it up. I broke the pieces, and whichever I felt that looked the best, I then taped it. And it's actually a bunch of different things. So it doesn't look like a umbrella or what Andy pointed out. And I kind of wanted to make it look good because this is my first try at something instead of lichen.
Yeah.
And this is my first try at Christmas pine trees and lichen than anything else. And pretty much I like the effect I got at it. And I might do a lot more trees like this.
I think it's an improvement over, as I've said before, I think it's quite easy to get a lot better than puffballs or lichen or something else. That's a massive improvement, and you can add a lot to it just by dry brushing it to get a little bark streaking and stuff. That's so good, brother.
Well, why don't you turn that around where we can see the front of it? The diorama. We're already dizzy from you spinning that tree at 110 miles an hour.
If anybody's wondering, the ground cover is sawdust. Dyed sawdust.
You might as well lay that tree on the layout. It's not going to stand up.
Yeah, the pin came out of it, and then I just sticked it in there for the. See, here's the bad side.
Well,
One side I did.
Who weathered that engine for you?
No, I did that.
Nah.
I did that.
You did
Soul
that?
type go into I just practice, and it's just a dry brush with cheap artist paint, and then I go up to fully where it just looks like a nasty, like somebody just sprayed it, and then I take a little towel and just rub it backwards. I take it down.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's one of my attempts at weathering. This is not the first time, though. I can tell you that with this stuff. I've learned how to work with it.
But that was one of your first ones, so.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I've done a couple cars, and then this old Tygo engine that doesn't run runs like the.
It runs like a taco engine.
Yeah, it runs pretty poor. It runs really poorly. It doesn't have any weight in it. I decided I wanted to try weathering a locomotive, and I don't want to weather one of my good O-scale engines quite yet. I'm not comfortable with that or any good HO engines. I decided I was going to weather this engine.
Well, that's not bad looking at all.
And I weathered the top of it. And this, most of my weathering is by prototype photographs. Though this one actually wasn't weathered by prototype photographs. I just took memory of a war bonnet, and actually I could have pulled it up. I saw one or two war bonnets. For a while there was a couple war bonnets that were getting pulled by a freight train. Were traveling through this area. Santa Fe, now BNSF, more modern war bonnets that were really just being up and just traveling through here occasionally for a while. And I decided I was going to take off my memory of those war bonnets, and try to get that same effect on this engine a little bit. And that's just a black and brown wash.
Well, Gino said that looks good. Nice job. If it ain't dirty, it ain't working.
Thanks, Gino. Hey Gino, you need to come on. You can stop coming on the Hangouts before I start coming here. Though I would like to talk to you about some stuff about there. And I actually have family in Birmingham, Alabama, and I go to
Hey, Josh.
Irondale a lot.
Josh.
What?
Gino just posted he just moved. Nah, I'm kidding with you, Josh.
He's moving to the hills.
Yeah. He said he's going to Mobile.
I like Mobile. That's a cool town. I like Birmingham too, but
Yeah, Birmingham's really hotbed for rail traffic, and then Slosh Furnace is out there.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I got some of that Chatham here.
Yeah.
And if anyone's interested in getting any, Miles has a bunch of it for sale.
Oh, okay.
That's where I got mine.
Yeah.
yeah, his is pretty similar to mine, but slightly different. I've got it out by the mailbox and the thing on the other side of the driveway. It's like a mailbox, or whatever those things, brick things are called, and which is awesome. It was here when I came, so I got to chop some of that up. But when I got some sagebrush, I got some of that sedum in the box too, or sedum or sedum, or depending on where you're from, I guess. And it's okay. And putting it together looks pretty good. I like Josh's work there, but there's like a bunch of different breeds of sedum, and mine is a little too. It's a little too umbrella-like.
Yeah, this was the first one I did, and that was the first try one, and that was just a bad job, and then this one was the last one of that night. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do. These were just experimental ones.
It's model railroading. It's just a big science experiment. It all is. That's why I always say my railroad is an experiment. My railroad will always be an experiment. I will always be willing to tear anything out if I think I can do a better job, or if I see a bright idea. There is nothing sacred, let's say.
Yeah. What's cool is that with these leaves here and the spray paint, this is actually one of Miles Hale's techniques. Spray painting the leaves on there. The leaves that are already there when you pick it. And so far, where I said earlier, everything else looks good. When pretty much I forget, it was $3.37 or something for the spray paint, and spray painting these, and it looks not bad. And you're on a budget in my wording, though. I know I do probably want to I sometimes wish I would get up to the standards of Andy's trees. And I say Andy's trees that are just amazing.
Thank you, but let me assure you, there's nothing special about what I'm doing other than that I'm slightly crazy and that I'm willing to put way too much time into a tree. That's the only secret to the success is a clinical condition or something that allows me to sit down and put, but now I've got it to where I can do them quite quick. But that first one was exhausting, even for the people that were just hanging out on here watching me.
Probably was.
I love the results, though.
Yeah.
Gibby gave me a hard time about the first time when I was on here doing it, doing those first trees. But now I've built around 50 of those, 40 some or 50 of those big trees, and there's no secret to them. That's the only secret there is in most of this stuff about railroading. There is some techniques, and there are some secrets, and there are some secret products. But most of the secret to the whole thing that I figured out is time. Just time. Put a lot of it in.
Yeah. Next time I'm going to try to get this stuff before this stuff starts closing up.
I've got it. This will make my third year of picking it. So I've got several boxes full of stuff. And I haven't found any secret to when you pick it, because it seems to, it's like a banana. You can pick it green or yellow and set it down. It will still end up being a yellow banana. Same thing kind of happens with them. Once they flower and you pick them, it's just a matter of whether they dry out there or in here. I leave them out there until they're dried up completely because I don't want any mess. And I pick them and shake the crap out of them and then put them in a box for right now. And I am using them to fill in, some of the background scenery and to build some canopy. I mix them in, 5 or 6%, 5% of my trees or something or less are some, or some sedum mixed in.
Yeah.
Oh, I do soak them.
No.
UV Trade Man is actually Robert Hallman's talking about soaking them in alcohol and Epsom salt. I soak them in. Oh gosh, I can never remember the name of that stuff. I always forget it.
Glycerin.
I always do that.
Well, how do you get through the day without me?
I don't know, buddy. That's why we talk so often.
Yeah.
No, I've picked them and sprayed hairspray right on them and let them dry. It seals them. And I've got some of those ones like Josh has there that are white still, and I picked them last fall. And all I did was spray them down with hairspray.
Yeah, and I use. See, the thing is with all the trees, I soak even the sagebrush. I soak it in glycerin, which does have a sealing effect because it soaks through internal to the material. It kind of, it's not necessary with like sedum and stuff, but the sagebrush, that's a big, thick trunk, some of that stuff. So I soak it in glycerin, and then I let them dry out completely before I use them. And I got a big old pile of the stuff already dried out, ready to use some of. And then as I glue it, and I paint some of them, and I wash some of them with a wash of a dilute oil, dilute oil paints and stuff to give, to lighten the color or to darken the color to get various textures. That has a sealing effect too, and then you put glue on it, that seals the tops of it.
Hey, there he is, Mr. Chris. I tell you what, here's somebody we haven't seen in a long time, and that's Scott. How you been? Say hey to him, he falls out. Okay, I didn't want to talk to him, no way.
Oh.
I tell you what, let's jump over here to Lloyd. Got anything you're working on, Lloyd?
Lloyd's always working on a thing or two.
That's true. If it's not tracks, it's paint, it's
Wiring.
Becoming a master computer programmer.
Yeah. Okay, that's my cement factory, which is basically a few kits here and there. That's one kit. That's another kit. The underneath is another kit.
Yeah, your camera's kind of blurred. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, it's just a little blurry, but I just checked it over here. It's okay on the stream. Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought it was your glasses that were dirty.
I think I know what it is. You're wearing kind of a checkered shirt, and the camera's trying to focus on it.
I'll try to hide. No, I left. The only thing I hadn't done is the roof. I didn't glue it on because I'm putting furniture inside. And right now I'm building little filing cabinets.
Wow. Yeah.
Are those vector cut woods or the woods from
Interaction,
yeah.
trackside details, yeah.
Boy, those are really nice.
What is that, etched metal or something? Or
No, it's just plain wood.
Are they like layers of like that resin impregnated paper or something? But they're in layers, right?
Only the top part where you see the filing cabinet drawers.
Yeah.
They're like it's etched. Well, it's etched.
Laser cut. Yeah.
Yeah, it's laser cut, and the other piece of the filing cabinet is just a piece of wood.
All right.
So that's going to go inside, and I've got also a desk. That's going inside. That'll go inside.
Okay.
And of course, I've got a table, and I can't find it.
Yeah.
That's going to go inside. I also have to put a light. I'm getting crazy with all those lights. So, what else? You see over here, that's my machine shop with a bunch of tools.
Okay.
I've built those two like second levels. It's basically to hide the wires because I've got lights outside, I've got lights inside, and I don't want to see the wires. And
Oh, like a mezzanine or something. I see what
Yeah.
you're talking. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And of course, all those tools, most of the tools are from the same place, Interaction.
Well, they got some really awesome stuff. I'm glad we turned on to them.
The only thing left to do in that building is I got to put some graphite. Ralph gave me an idea to weather the tools and to put graphite. Right, Andy?
Yes, sir. Yep, that's Ralph's technique squarely. It is a great technique. I've never seen anybody else do it that way. And he uses an artist's graphite pencil, that the whole pencil's graphite. But I already had these square stock graphite that Trevor Marshall had recommended for cleaning track. And so I just took the soft one of those and scratched it a little with a knife to soften it up, and then put it on the top edge of some rolling stock trucks. It's a great effect.
So I'm going to put that on the tools, and of course on the right-hand side. Hold on. On the right-hand side here, I've got welding lights that are coming in. Well, I'm finished one set of welding lights. Now I got to build another one that's going to go inside. We're just going to see the flashing lights through the glass and through the door, where there's going to be a locomotive inside. Well, just little things here and there. I finally got around to paint some tracks. Basically got around to using my airbrush, which I never used before.
How'd that work out?
Of course, I had to do a few tests in the back room to see
Yeah.
how it would go, but it went very well. I was surprised. It's just that at one point I had to go up for supper, and I didn't really clean the what do you call it? The spray. I'm just like Andy here.
Nozzle.
Yeah, exactly. So when I got back, the paint wasn't coming out, so I had to take it all apart, read the instructions on how to clean an airbrush. Well, now I know.
Yeah, you never leave an airbrush. Once you get done, that you clean it right then. What I like to do is I keep a ball of cleaner in one of my spray balls, and when I get done, I just hook that up, and I'll spray a bunch through it just to keep the needle and everything, the nozzle cleaned out. So that way I can come back in about 5-10 minutes and go back to shooting again.
I will say that's generally a thing that you do once.
When I get done, I just hook that up, and I'll spray. Yeah, JD, we're getting the feedback. Needle and everything, the nozzle cleaned out. Or who's that doing the recording? Back in about 5.
Yeah, you do that once with an airbrush, and then you're probably weaned from doing that again. So
Yeah.
But I got one of those little little clean out things, which wasn't very expensive. Johnny did it with a 5-gallon bucket, which is a pretty slick trick. But it's just so easy to pour some window washer fluid in there, and spray it, clean it. Cleans up pretty quick.
And of course, I cleaned all my tracks afterwards with a piece of masonite, with a bit of what's that alcohol thing there? Oh,
Oh,
Isopropyl alcohol or
yeah.
denatured alcohol or
yeah. So
Iso alcohol.
that's it. Thanks, Bill, for being around. Yeah, so I was able to clean all my tracks, and then I took out my locomotive and tested every piece of track, and everything was perfect. So, getting there. And that's about it for me. Oh, I had my brother come down to give me a hand with my backdrop to install the masonite.
Yeah.
And we did about 20 feet of backdrop. So I was able to see how my what I had done would fit the backdrop, and it really looks nice.
That's
But I
good.
haven't installed yet.
Well, we need pictures. Oh, we just had JD and Marty join us too here on the panel.
Hey guys.
Hey
Howdy.
JD, hey Marty.
Hey Chris.
Good afternoon.
Whoa.
Hey, Marty.
Yeah. Good thing I didn't have my headphones on.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'll move that away.
Yeah, JD's climbing back up in his chair now.
you're coming in loud and clear from down under, brother.
Yeah.
That's those extra hamsters we got working on the generator.
Yeah.
Whose post was it that map like roasting and crisp and charred in Australia? Somebody posted that. I forget his name.
Talking
What
about
was the
their
post of?
weather patterns.
It was just a map of Australia with like sections of burned and charred, and pointing out like what's happening in terms of weather. I forget his
Extremely
name.
hot.
Yeah, like it had like it's in the Google Plus page.
Yeah, Scott's back.
All right, good. You still with us, Scott? If you're talking, we can't hear you. I saw you unmute your mic, but not getting any audio. I can hear you moving it. Yeah, Scott's over going, can you hear the words coming out of my mouth now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good.
How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate when I hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean it's that button?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Tell you
Yeah, I
what,
hit
Lord.
that.
I tell you, well, hang on, just want to say, Lord, if you would, just go ahead and mute your mic, because we can hear you sounding pretty loud.
Okay.
But I will say, hey Lloyd.
Yeah. All right, Scott, I got you up. If you want to turn your camera on, show us what you've been up to.
Yeah, let me get my camera working.
I thought he was going to say, well, yeah, it's like this.
Yeah.
Let's see if this will be lights. Hey, there we go. I'm on a
Yep, now I got you.
what's the last?
Well, now you're
Probably gonna lag out.
yeah, you're lagging real bad.
Last.
Yeah, I'm catching about every fourth, fifth word.
Huh.
Okay, well, just
Laptop that I'm on. It's a diamond. I'll catch y'all next week though, and have a little bit more done.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Turn your camera off, because
Dang,
really, yeah, you can just turn your camera off. It's just lagging that computer pretty bad. That way you'll be able to talk.
Where's that at the? Where was that at? Compared to what we've seen before, was that up near the? Was that the top of the helix in that same room, or is that in an adjoining room?
That's at the top of the helix. Coming to the right.
Oh, the new section. It was new to us because you were talking about it like some months ago.
Yeah. I only went so far, and then I was going to stop and just make it. It was going to be a point-to-point layout with a helix. That's all it was. Then I just sat back and started thinking, it's a 14 by 14 room. Let's do this. So I went double. I did. I went double stack. I've got one permanent bridge that goes across the top of my doorway. You got to kind of duck to get in, and I've got a lift out bridge, to where you can walk into the room.
That's what I'm doing too. Same arrangement. It's kind of a nod under. Yeah.
Right. I have made a major decision. And it's only took me. Troy, how long have we known each other now? About 3-4 years. I went Digitrack.
Good deal.
Instead of NCE.
Well, I don't know about good deal, but.
Well, don't get me wrong. I've weighed out the pros and cons. I've listened to everybody's arguments about them and everything like that. For what my layout is, I can spin around in my chair and see every bit of it.
They're both good.
Right. I don't need a handheld or anything like that. I went with the Digitrack DCS 51. It's the Zephyr Extra. It's got all the bells and whistles that any other handheld went. I did hook up a PR3, and it works.
What's the amp on that?
3
it's
amps.
3.5.
3 amps.
Yeah, 3.5 amps.
I think the Digitrack 240 has the 5 amp booster built in, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah.
They just come out with a new model too.
I've wired up the PR3. I've got 4 zones on this, and I think it is called a PM42.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I've got that mounted. I've got it mounted, but I don't have it wired yet to my zones. I am on LocalNet. I am using JMRI to. That thing is pretty cool. LocalNet, man, that thing is pretty cool. But man, I wish this dinosaur laptop would handle it.
Well, you sure get your money worth out of JMRI, don't you?
Oh, there ain't no doubt. For being $9,000,
Like I said before, it's free. If you do nothing but program, that's great. But there's so much more you can do with it. Just slowly do a little more.
Well, yeah, and it's like where I know how to program, and my son is a master programmer geek. He's taught me a lot as far as writing programs. If y'all didn't catch Wednesday night show, you need to go back and watch it. We went out and bought a snot load of stuff, dude, for wiring up different sounds, different locations. I've got all kind of resistors that I bought. I got an Endurant. How do you say that? Endurant?
Oh, Arduino.
Arduino.
Thank you. Yeah. I got an RF micro scanner that I can hook up to a board. Got an infrared to trigger off the sounds.
So how are you going to drive the sound?
Huh?
How are you going to drive the sounds? Do you have are you using the Arduino sound module that has the SD card in the back, or are you going to use a separate module and let the Arduino trigger that module?
A second module and let the Arduino trigger it.
That is what. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people that are that care about the quality of audio are recommending, because the Arduino module is okay for certain applications. Like for a crossing bell, it'd be okay, but the quality of the audio that comes out of the Arduino is quite low. But if you have a pretty good quality sound module, the Arduino can fire that module.
Right. I got two breadboards. I got a little mini breadboard and then a big breadboard to have fun with. All the jumpers, everything. Like I said, $200-some for these.
Yeah, now on that Zephyr, Scott.
Huh?
On your Zephyr.
Yes.
If you want to, you can plug cabs into that and use a handheld cab too.
Yeah, I was that's one thing that I did like about this unit. I can use this actually 3 ways. I can use it as a base to hook in other handhelds. I can program this to be just a power supply.
Yeah.
Or
that's it.
Or just a throttle.
Or just a throttle, exactly. And it's like I mean, I almost went with NCE. What got me was the plug and play.
Yeah.
It's a preference thing. They're close to equal. It's a preference thing.
Exactly. I'm not down in anybody's system. I got buddies that are still using what are they? MRCs, I think that. Sure. Yeah. And it's. Hey, I figure as long as it makes the train go forward and backwards and does what you want to do, have a blast.
Absolutely, I agree. And there are everybody has this thing, and I actually wrote about that in the e-bag some time ago. I think that might have been maybe the first one I ever wrote. That was about DCC, where I think the idea that we say that it's an absolute requirement, I think is a disservice to the hobby. I love DCC, absolutely love it. But the idea that you just have to have it for any kind of layout is just not true. There are some layouts where DC is fine, and for some people, DC is perfect.
That's right. My kids don't need it for their Thomas stuff.
Oh, come on, man. Wireless throttles. That's just because you're being cheap. Don't do that.
But I'm Indian. I'm allowed to be cheap. Come on, man. Oh, that's putting all Indian people in bad light there.
This is a live show. I'd ask you a question.
It was funny regardless. So
yeah, it was funny.
Thomas isn't cheap. That one cost me about $280.
Yeah, but you put all kinds of stuff in that thing. I mean, it's a replacement for a boombox or something with all the audio you got in it.
Would you call it the Doof Doof music box?
Oh, have you heard what he did with his time? Yeah, you got to tell about that.
Yeah, tell me about that, Marty.
Well, give us a couple of minutes and I'll fire it up.
All right, I got a couple of Thomases like those for the H.L. Bachman. What do they say in UK? Bachman.
Bachman.
I know,
Yeah.
I mean Bachman, but in like a lot of UK videos that I see, they call them Botchmans.
That's even in the U.S. they'll say botchman, but that's them saying that that's the condemnation of saying that Bachman botches everything up.
Yeah, Botchman.
I've said it numerous times because I've not been a big Bachman fan. However, Bachman, some of their Spectrum steam locomotives are first-class locomotives.
Well,
with
the logging, was the Heisler? Right out of the box, it moved 6 inches and it stopped moving.
Really?
Yep.
I've heard good things about
And
that.
it cost me, close to $30 to get under warranty because of
Wow.
shipping and stuff. Yeah, that wasn't fun.
I've heard good things about that particular one, and they have Bachman has
And that Spectrum with sound,
you can get, I've said this before to people, you can get a bad Mercedes-Benz. Statistically, it's more likely you're going to get a bad Yugo or something, but or the 4-door version, the Wego. But but Bachman has improved and improved and improved, and everybody has bad lines. Look at what happened with the Intermountain when they come out with the NS Heritage units. They had a lot of failures.
I went through that failure too. I ended up taking them back to my hobby shop after 3 exchanges.
A lot of people did, and it happens to a lot of these manufacturers. They're at the mercy.
It happened, But my hobby shop was nice enough, and I showed them the video of the decoder just having conniption fits.
But Spectrum has improved and improved, and some of their steam locomotives.
No, I got some really great Spectrum stuff. I mean, I've got a huge collection of Spectrum stuff.
The British European stuff has a lot different reputation than the Bachman US prototype stuff.
Well, Hornby's always compared. You look at a Hornby Thomas, it's not even close to being as accurate as Bachman's is.
Is that right?
Hornby stuff, other Hornby stuff. When you look at those engines, my nephew he wrote one of the articles in that issue with the Young Modelers issue.
Yeah.
And then I wrote the food for thought. Modeling Thomas Israel model railroading, because you could build everything around and just run the Thomas engine through. I mean, look what they did for the show in G scale. But short of throwing DCC in there, you can compare the two for speed, for accuracy, for size. I mean, even the Bachman model's not exact, in terms of scale, but pretty darn good.
The prof says that Bachman US is, it's a different. So he says Bachman US versus Bachman Branchside UK. Because I watch a lot of the European.
They got some really good stuff Bachman over there.
Yeah,
a lot of the rolling stock's excellent.
And Rocco and Zima and all those guys. But I've said numerous times, you've got to watch military modelers and the gaming modelers like Drake Tutor and those guys. But the German and British and Australian and those modelers are just exceptional. But the British equipment that they're using, and German equipment and Swiss equipment.
I love that.
I sampled all the sounds off a Thomas Tank Engine DVD.
Yeah, you were telling me last time, you were able to upload the sound files, right?
Yeah, so I got a DVD, pulled the soundtrack off that, and then in Audacity chopped out just the whistle. So it's got the original Thomas whistle, but if you press F3...
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It plays the theme music.
Yeah.
It used to, I don't know what's happened, something's got changed in there, but if you ran it backwards, it played the Benny Hill theme.
The what thing?
The Benny Hill theme, yapping sax.
Right?
Yeah.
The Boots Randolph.
Okay, now I don't know if you can hear this, but...
Oh, that's the Beatles, right? The Ringo.
Yep, that's Ringo. So I did a couple of samples off the bits. So I did a few samples of
I think George Carlin had one of the best voices for the Thomas narration.
Oh man, yes.
He was awesome.
But after a weekend of being at a train show and running this around, just about every member of my club wants to kill me because they're all going
what
home.
chip do you have in there? What decoder do you have in there?
That's a micro ESU, and I bought
It
that
allows you to
micro.
upload sound files, right?
It's actually a version 3.5 because I've got heaps of ESU lock sound decoders here, and I'll shut that off.
No, AK Crazy Russian did a video on putting a decoder in the Thomas engine on his YouTube channel.
Yep. On my website.
If you've got the process down, and maybe in a future issue, if you want to write an article on how to do it.
Sure.
I think that would be awesome. I mean, you don't see that often.
Well, it applies to 1,000 other things. It applies to what if you had a Boro crane or something that you wanted some unique sound in. Whatever you would learn about Thomas would be the same as applying any unique sound.
Well, it used to be you could pull off the roof off the cab on the older Bachmann Thomases. Then they got wise to people putting DCC decoders that way, and they glued it.
Really?
They glued so you can't just pull the top off anymore.
Why would they not? Why would they want you to do it?
So the top just comes off, and there's the decoder and speaker and everything buried down in there.
Yeah, I see it. Did you build a baffle in there, or no? Just lay the speaker in there.
No, it's got the with most of the lock sound decoders, they come with an enclosure.
Okay.
So it's got the lock sound enclosure in there, but yeah, it's good at shows. All the kids chase it around the layout. Some of our club members have threatened to kill it.
Yeah, you told me last time.
Yeah, one of the guys actually chased it with a hammer around the layout.
I've seen people like in Japan build these models out of scratch, the ones that Bachmann's not producing or Hornby's not producing. So they build some of the other character models from scratch. And then they've put sound files in most of them. So they've got the sounds, the traditional bust my buffers and stuff like that, and what James says, what Henry says, what Gordon says. Oh, the indignity.
That was a $50 Bachmann model over here in Australia. And the decoder, when I bought it, because it was when the Lock Sound first started making a micro, and it was $240 for the decoder.
Now, so TCS.
It's a $300 Thomas.
Yeah. But it has good capability, right? Did you do any lights on there, like reverse lights and?
No. I didn't bother putting any lights on there. We just did the sound. I might do that though.
Yeah, I've seen some videos of people putting lights in there, when it reverses. I think that's what the AK Crazy Russian did too. DCC Trends. Yeah. That's what he did. He put the lights in there, reverse and forward, and he fed a LED inside of that lamp in the front. Yeah. And then on the lamp on the back. Yeah. Which is really cool, You put a little LED in there with a fiber optic or something like that too.
Martin's like, thank you very much. You just took a half a day out of my life.
Yep, and it's now going to have flickering firebox as well underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear, I don't think the kids would really get into
if you could make the dome pop off, like in one of the series, like for Gordon. One of these days, I'll have to bring my collection back down to my office and show you some of the pieces that I have.
One of the guys in our modular club, he's actually got two actual set modules with Sodor Station and the engine sheds.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Hang on, I'm going to bring up the first issue of the EMAG because that has in it.
All right, while you're doing that, Gino Custom Models is looking for a decent model source for 30s and 50s vehicles. if
Oh my
anybody's
God.
got any kind of sources.
We've talked about that quite a bit on here. I suffer the same thing, Gino. If I bottled the 30s, it wouldn't be a problem. There's stuff out there. If I bottled past 1953, 54, it wouldn't be a problem. But because I bottled 50, that's such a problem. And I have some of these Sullivan or Sylvan kits I was talking about. I gotta find some of them, but that are quite good, and they do have some like roadsters. Like I've got a 46 Ford or something roadster that's a kind of interesting vehicle, but that's a difficult era, and there's a few reasons why. Anyway, I mean World War II with the steel plants and all that stuff was nationalized. There was a period where there weren't a lot of cars, but that's a real difficult point, brother. There are some 3D printed models available. Hod's 3D, Jod's 3D over in Germany does some stuff. That was Ken Patterson showcased his work and him personally on a few different What's Neat videos on YouTube. And he might have some stuff in that area, and there's some stuff on Shapeways, but the vehicles on Shapeways are a bit pricey. So you might want to buy one and cast it or something. That's my 2 cents about it, because that's a hard problem.
All right. Well, JD just got his screen share going on the eMag there.
So this is the very first issue. This was a 2-part article. One was with Barry, and the second one on LEDs, but this one was incandescent lighting. But if you look in here, what do you notice? Marty, do you recognize that? Marty there?
Yeah, he's got his mic muted.
Oh, okay.
I don't spot it. What are you looking at?
Isle of Sotar, something like that.
This is the first issue of the eMag, Marty.
Oh,
And
right.
I wrote this article, Incandescent Lighting, and this is inside of Tidmouth Sheds.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Right. So I hung these lamps in there, and it's there. You can see the engines. The roll call kind of gives you the hints of the engines. There's James and Thomas and Henry and whatever. So that kind of gives you, the lamps that were hanging.
So when are you going to Arduinoify that project, if that's a word?
And then I also did this.
That's what I'm talking about.
I will Arduinoify this sucker.
That's what we got to say from now on.
Recognize this one, Marty?
Can you link that article in the chat?
This is what's the station?
Sodor Station or whatever. I forgot the name of it now.
Yeah, I forget the exact name, but it has a name. So, once I did that, I also did the station, and these lamps right here. So you can see Knapford Station. That's it. And you can see how I did the wiring in here with just like a micro drill, and just pulled it right through.
They're LEDs, right? Are they pre-wired LEDs, or are they?
No. They're incandescent bulbs.
Okay, great weeks. Yep.
So this was on incandescent lighting, and so right there the bulbs, and I sort of drew a diagram of how I did it, pulled it on either side,
Sure.
and then you can see the wire come in there. But anyway, that's if you look in the back, this is my old layout, just like on a dining table. You recognize those coaches, right? Gordon's coaches.
Yep.
Yeah, so we had a whole Thomas thing going on for the kids in here. And you can see Terrace the tractor back there.
One of the guys and I probably got 2 modules for Thomas, and he's also got 2 modules of International Rescue with the Thunderbirds, and he's got.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
back, and the current ones he's building at the moment. He's doing Simpsons one, and he's doing two Family Guy ones.
Oh, nice. So
Where can you
in
see
there-
those?
Good stuff.
So here, that's my nephew's article.
Oh, neat. Well, I've actually got a G-scale Thomas as well, and I want to put the sound project in the G-scale one. Except
Yeah.
I could probably get about a 20-watt amplifier in the G-scale one.
Right. By the way, Marty, this is a Hornby Thomas right here that you're looking at.
Yep.
See, quite different
Yeah,
than yours, right?
Yeah, the eyes don't move. Mine's a Bachman one.
Yeah, yeah. He has both Hornby and a couple of Bachman ones. And then you see this wagon right there? I weathered it for him.
Oh, cool.
Where did it go? Oh, hang on. Sorry. There you go. Yeah, I weathered that for him. And it's in one of my videos on my channel. But you can see this is, he got from UK on eBay. Stepney, and that's Hornby. Murdoch is Hornby. And obviously these are all based on real engines.
Yeah, that's a Deltec diesel.
Right. And before Andy took over the Food for Thought, I had written this one. And so if you look at this is a scene on that dining room table, and you can see Terrence the tractor right there.
Yep.
And you see these are actual pieces of coal, real coal right there sitting.
No,
Before I took over, before the hostile takeover.
Before he kindly took over.
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
I have for Gino looking for those vehicles. Check out American Heritage Models and also Classic Metalworks.
Classic Metalworks. They got some pretty decent stuff.
Yeah, model trains and stuff, they will have sometimes a coupon come. Like
I'm going to say they're a little expensive, and the detail parts are a little large, so you've got to work on them a bit, but they are assembled.
Yeah. Hang
Whereas
on a
silver
Chris.
model.
Chris, can you mute your mic out, please? Getting a lot of background noise with the clamps.
You recognize Thomas right there? There's a Christmas Thomas. And there's Spencer. There's a bunch of Thomas stuff on this table there. The mail cars, all the rolling stock there.
Most of you guys have seen my Thomas, hadn't you?
This big steam?
Yeah.
There you go. There's the one that I weathered for him right there.
Okay. The angry trucks.
Yeah.
The troublesome trucks, sorry. Now, in HO, I've only got Thomas, Annabelle, and Clarabelle. And in G scale, I've got Thomas and I've got James. So I've got the angry trucks and the troublesome trucks and Annabelle and Clarabelle. But it's always funny at a train show, and someone turns around to me and says, "Oh, where's Thomas?" And I said, "Oh, he's in the yard shunting Annabelle."
Yeah, so he took the face off of one of the wooden Thomases and put that on that truck, on the half-ton wagon or 6-ton wagon. I'm sorry, and he put chains. He uses chains, not couplers.
Yep. Yeah.
So there it is. You can see the roll call there.
Okay.
And that's DCC controllable too. I have the DCC chip that can be substituted in there.
Yep.
So anyway, I was running that for the kids, and it was fun. It's fun. So right now it's all put away. But if you want to see G scale Thomas stuff, check this guy out, Keith Edwards. This is the July issue of 2015.
Okay.
And towards the back, and you just click there, and you go right to his channel. Or you can click on the picture itself, and it'll take you to a little video. It's a very little fun thing that he did.
Well, I'm slowly working my
Pine
way
Tree
through.
Junction's another one that does Thomas videos, and they know each other. Keith and those guys know each other.
Right.
And they do some really nice stuff. And here's a bunch of guys out there doing Thomas stuff. And there's Pine Tree Junction right there, and Keith's G-scale. But yeah, it doesn't show up in mainstream. Like I said, I've done an article or two here that introduces that in here. So I like to see that theme come back in.
Yep, or we can do something. I just put this together because I was bored one Christmas. The Dakota was sitting there, and I thought, oh well, let's see if we can do a bit of fun and get the actual Thomas the Tank Engine theme music and the proper whistle and
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at whose article that is right there, Chris. That's Chris's article. That was awesome.
That was a fun article to do.
Yeah, I mean, you got the pictures in time. I mean, it just came well so fast together very quickly, and it was great. It was just awesome.
If any of you guys are on Facebook, following any of the Model Railroad stuff, you probably see him out there. He's on just about anything and everything Model Railroad. He even goes out and, like Paley Soberg or any of those guys, he friends them and carries on with them just like they're next door neighbors. So he's not shy.
Right. Now, I got to meet these two guys right here at Strasburg Railroad.
That was a good article, too. I enjoyed that
Strasburg Museum, the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum, I'm sorry, in Strasburg, PA.
That whole issue was a great issue.
Yeah, it really was. It was one of the first ones that was huge, and a lot of work went into it, a lot of articles.
Sorry.
And we sort of, I was trying to get the Boy Scouts. They were interested in writing, but then the Scoutmasters, I just couldn't get a response back from them. They're all gung-ho at the train show. But, I would have loved to have gotten a Boy Scouts perspective in here. But you know what? Who filled that in? Andrew Gilmore. So he covered that concept. So we covered a lot of good angles here. So it was a great issue. Johnny, you recognize this one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, John.
Yeah.
I was over at his house today.
Yeah, Jack Hickaway conducted the interview.
Yeah.
He was what? He was not even 16 himself at that point.
Yeah, he was 15 when he interviewed me.
Yeah, he was 15. He's 17 now. And I'm, Andy, you and I talked about setting some stuff up for him, people to interview.
Yes, absolutely. We'll get back to that. I've reached out because I'm looking forward to that too. That'll be a good article when that comes up.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Can you give me a call? I don't know what your availability is tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I'll work. Of course, JD, you're the boss. I'll make time for you, brother. You pay the paycheck.
I know. You're a great man. Or Saturday some point. Just give me a shout.
Yeah, Saturday's harder to find the time, but I will find the time. We'll talk.
Sunday.
Oh, this could be a light week. I'm only going to put about 40 hours in this weekend. I'll find time, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I still want my journalist paycheck, so I got to work for it. That means a few phone calls.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Let's jump over here to Troy. You there, Troy?
Yeah, I'm here.
So what you up to tonight?
Trying to work on some track plans, actually.
What scale?
N.
Okay. Well, you just made some new friends around here.
Yippee!
Yeah, I got my, N-scale door layout, but it's getting a little small. I want to expand it. So I don't know if I just want to either expand off the door or just make a whole new layout going around a 10 by 11 room.
Well, hey, that's an idea. French door layout.
A French door layout?
Yeah. He said he's on a door right now, put two of them together and have French doors.
Yeah, like double doors. I had a door when I was in service. I had guys that come to my barracks room, and you know, most people had you know, salacious posters on the walls, and I had a layout in my room, but can't stop railroading.
Got a quick question off subject here. Is there a way to set this Google Hangout so it automatically switches to whoever's screen is talking?
Sure. Just unclick. So nobody's highlighted. So there's no little white trim around anybody. And then whoever, as long as nobody's selected, whoever speaks should pop up with the exception of yourself.
Okay.
Work for you?
I took the white screen off, but no, it's not switching.
Yeah, it should start switching. You should be over on me where it says YouTube Model Builders.
Well, sometimes that won't work and you'll have to refresh, you know.
Well, just switch over to somebody else's camera, highlight them, and then switch off again. See if it doesn't do it that way. Start it bouncing around for you. But
all right, let me just try to refresh real quick.
Yeah. All right, that worked for you.
Yep, that's working now.
Yeah.
It's Google. We all know how perfect this stuff works. You just got to remember it's free.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Well, let's get over here and see what Mr. Chris is doing. He's trying to get his up and running for an open house. What, April or May?
May, first week of May. So
first week of
May. A little behind schedule now, so if you guys want to come over and lend a hand.
Yeah.
What you're seeing me do tonight is just putting in the last pieces to complete the road bed for the first level. And then after this, I got to do the transition to the second level.
Yeah, it's just going to be
top
HO
level actually. So yeah, it's HO.
Unfortunately, Chris, Google hasn't invented the technology where we can reach into the screen and give you a hand on some of the stuff there.
Yeah, actually, if somebody would just shoot me over some 1-inch drywall screws, I'm kind of at a stop right now. Didn't realize I was about out of them, and I got these joints. I glue them and then I screw them. I got them clamped right now. I need the clamps for something else, but I got to leave them on there because I don't have the screws to run in there. I guess
next time you're passing by a Harbor Freight, Chris, grab a bunch of clamps.
They have these little
what glue you
clamps.
using?
Pretty reason.
Yeah.
Here, reach through the screen. I'll give you what I have.
All right. Yeah, I just need some of these, drywall screws, but in 1-inch.
Yeah.
The glue I use is this Type Bond Premium. Type Bond 2 Premium. Don't know if
you
it's
can't
any
break
better
that
than
off
anything
without
else,
ripping the wood apart.
That's good.
With
that
that,
Gorilla
you don't
Glue.
need screws.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Take
do
the
is I
screws out of
put
the part you've already glued, because that glue by itself will hold it better than those screws.
That's true. But yeah, I glue it, then I screw it to hold it so I can take the clamps off and keep moving.
Yeah,
You let the glue dry first, Chris.
take screws from some of the dried
Well,
area.
that's why I put the glues. That's why I put the screws in so I can take
Let
the
it go,
clamps
yeah.
off while it's still drying. Keep on moving. So that's all right. It's getting late. That's as far as I get. I'll get some new ones, some new screws tomorrow, and keep going. But basically, what you see here is it's all a grade, continuous grade.
Yeah.
And it's just coming into, if I move over here, once you see the rest of it, that's going to be a one turn helix or 1.5 turn helix, just to allow for a long passing siding. That starts right before I go into that and ends right after I come out. So that's the first level. And then it's just going to climb back up here and then go back over the top of itself, heading back along the way you were just looking before. end up on top of the staging deck over there. So that's what I'm up to right now, just working on bench working.
Chris, go back to that helix there, that one level.
Yeah.
Because you remember me talking about building a around the 6x12 like an oval helix to go from one deck to the next. That's almost pretty much close to what I want to do right there.
Yeah, that's an oval helix right here.
Yeah.
And where the track comes in, and then
what about a year
the rest
ago
of
we
it
were talking about that.
You know, the side over here will have a second level over it, but the one over here will not. It's actually gonna, you know, come back along the
around
wall
the back
there.
next to that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, come around the front here, and then head back down this side, come over the top, and then along the wall, and then it's gonna come out here a little bit where I'm standing, and do a big S over the top of it, because what this is gonna simulate is in the Mullen Pass, there's like a double horseshoe, they call it. It's like a giant S curve, but it's climbing all the way. So that's what's going to be right here after it comes.
Like
after
on the horseshoe curve.
Yeah, it's like 2 horseshoe curves. You would literally see the train 3 times at once. Or
because it crosses over itself.
Yeah, it'd be like if it's heading to your left, it would curve back to your right, and then back to your left again. If a train was 2 miles long, you would see it going 3 ways at once. You know?
Look at the loops on the Clinchfield line as they're going into North Carolina. They do that. There's about 8 miles between them, but there's like 100 yards actually.
Yeah, let me bring up.
What's the largest size engine you're running, Chris?
The average. I'm gonna be running the mid 90s, so the majority will be SD 40s and 45s. Okay. But I will have a few 50s or 60s. That's gonna be about big as I run.
If you run like an SD70 or something like that, I mean, you're not running a big boy or anything like that.
No. Maybe if some of my friends got one, he brings it over once in a while or leaves it here for
Question:
a while.
It will handle the S curve,
Oh, absolutely. Let me bring up my track plan, or just bring you the printed copy.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking about, what the track planner wrote in one of his articles about doing S curves and how they don't tend to work.
Well, that's small S curves. This is ginormous.
Yeah, S curves without a straight track in them kind of tend to lead to some extra uncoupling or derailment issues.
Well, especially with certain equipment. So steam locomotives, rigidly coupled locomotives like F units that are rigidly coupled, or closely coupled, or passenger equipment,
or PA units.
Yeah. It's just
large PA units. Yeah,
I just
I have a bunch of those, for example.
I don't know how good this is going to show. I may have to change directions, get the light off of it or something, but.
More of a focus issue, I guess.
I don't know if you can see. So right about here is where that oval helix is, but it's going to come out of that one-turn helix, come around here, all the way back to the wall up here. So I mean, this is literally like from here to here is over 13 feet. So this
that's not your traditional S curve. Yeah,
it's just a double horseshoe is what it really is. Yeah. There's a horseshoe down
outer
here.
and inner horseshoe.
Right. Well, or lower and upper, because this is way downhill, and so it's climbing all the way. So that's how I transition. Coming up the lower level, what you're looking at me working on here, and it comes into the helix, does one turn, comes out, does the giant horseshoe and back, and by then I'm over the top of the first level now with the top level.
Helpers.
You betcha. That's the whole concept of my layout is helper service.
Well, you're going to be speed matching the rear, right?
Oh yeah. Well, they're going to be mostly mid-train sets of mid-train helpers rather than pushers on the rear.
Okay.
I don't want to run big long trains.
And separate engineers, because speed matching doesn't seem to work. At least won't work for me, because say by the time you get to the top, your lead locomotives are out in front and on level ground or semi-level ground, while the helpers are still on the grade. So you about have to run them independently, and that's one of the advantages of some of the dual throttles available from Digitrax or NCE or whatever, or especially Digitrax, or running Y throttle, where you could run 2 throttles side by side. So you could
EMF.
Yeah, so you could run your, run both sets of helpers from 1 throttle. Although, you're going to need person to need a little practice at that, I'd imagine.
I'm going to bring up the
BMF that slows the first one down while the other one's still pushing.
You know,
I
who
actually
does
like-
really long trains? You ever seen James Reisner?
I have not.
I know we featured him in one of the e-mags in a pick 3, but look him up. He does these huge spirals, and then he has this huge garage, like you could store a rig in there, 18-wheeler in there, and he does these huge long trains with multiple engines, and I mean they
I'm going
just
to be
keep
running
going.
I'm going to have the ability to run a prototypical length train of 120, 130 cars. That's the whole reason.
I think
for
we've done
layout.
140 so far, or maybe even 160.
Wow. So here, kind of hard to screen, but
yeah.
Here's
boy, that word weed
follow
stands out pretty well.
Yeah.
Hey, Newcastle, you need to mute your mic. We're getting a lot of noise from you.
So if you follow my mouse, you can see where the track is.
Yeah.
From Weed, you're heading downhill. In between this horseshoe, there's a big hill that actually blocks the view. It goes behind. There's a cut through the end. It's actually the end of a ridge, like right here. But they came and cut through it. But this heads downhill all the way. So from here to about here is 2 miles in real life. So if a train was 2 miles long, you stand down here at the bottom, and you would see it going this way, you'd see it coming back this way, and you'd see the top of it up here again.
Well, you'd see it disappear behind the ridge, right? And then see it reappear on the other side.
Right. So I'll turn on the earth view. So this here you can see the
oh yeah, you can see the downhill grade. Completely.
Right. So what I'm simulating, that right back here by this road where my mouse is, to the way right of the screen, that's the start of a passing siding. So
Creek, yeah.
Right. So from Greenhorn Creek, following my mouse all the way down to the word Austin here is a passing siding. So what I'm simulating is I come in where you saw me with my clamps and everything right here, coming into the start of the passing siding. Then that 1.5 turn helix will be hidden. It's the rest of this passing siding, and I've got it designed to handle 60 cars. So I could have during operating sessions, I'm going to probably keep it to 60 to 75 car trains. But if I wanted to, I could still run a 120 car train as long as the rest of them are 60 or less, because they could sit in this siding then while the 120 goes by.
Besides watching the S curve happen when it's done, I'm also interested in seeing you put together the train in an op session. How long will that take?
Yeah, so that's most people design their layouts for switching. That's actually going to be one of the primary functions that guys are going to have to do, rather than switching, is going to be building and then running a train as a team. And I'm going to, unfortunately, the bandwidth, because I'm streaming, is killing my speed here, but I'm going to show you where that happens, which is right about here. Let's zoom in a little bit. You see that Y?
Yeah.
In the middle of your screen? So what happens is, just down to the lower right, and I'll pan over there in a minute, is the hell in a yard. This is about 1.5 miles, 2 miles out of town. So the helpers come up and, like, let's say you're running 125 car coal train, 120, 125. In fact, you can actually see it. Wow, that's cool. They updated the imagery. There's a set of helpers right there. So what they do is they run out and then they back into this one leg of the Y and wait. And usually for a 120 car coal train back in the day I'm doing, they had eight SD40 and 45s depending on what they had on hand at the time.
Now, is there
And
motive
they would
power
back-
or is it just all coal cars there? It's hard to see. Looks like all coal cars.
That's just motive power. There's just
Yeah.
4 of them sitting
One,
right there.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, I see it. Yeah.
They might actually be coming back down the hill light, heading back after helping out something. But this is newer. What they've been doing is they've bought some SD70 ACEs now, and they've been running 4 or 5 of those instead of 8 of the SD40.
That's what these look like. They look like SD.
Yeah, you can
70
see the kind of the dropped area in the middle here. Those
Yeah.
are SD70s.
Yeah, SD70 Aces.
So anyways, back to the coal train, what they do is they'd have 8 of them sitting on the Y right here. They'd bring the coal train out after about 35, 40 cars they would cut, and they'd run 4 of the helpers in. Then they'd pull forward another 30, 40 cars and stick the other 4 in there. So you literally would have 8 helpers in 2 sets of 4. And then on the head end, there was usually 6 or 7 SD40s and 45s that would be BNS or Burlington Northern at the time. They were Burlington Northern run-through trains, and MRL provides the helper service.
So where is this at, Chris?
This is Helena, Montana.
Ah,
So I'm going to pan out a
nice
little
to be
bit.
playing
and take-
golf right there. Watch the operations.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
going to
hey.
be fun to model that, actually.
Yeah, hang on a second. Josh, you need to mute your mic, please.
Yeah, it's going to take a second for this slow thing to pan. Yeah, somebody's clicking.
Josh, thank you.
So you can see that's just outside of town, and if my screen ever catches up, most of you guys that have seen my layout would recognize this yard now and the depot. There. So up at the top of your screen is up the side of the layout that you view it from. So whenever you see me sitting, you see my mock-up of the depot in the background here, and then you'll usually see my MRL helpers sitting there. In fact, I can just walk in and show you quick. Stop screen sharing. So my main helix just feeds the yard. You come out of the helix from staging into the yard, and it's a division point, so they change crews there. So I'll literally have one crew bring the train down from staging, switch operators, and let them take the train out then and cut the helpers in. And
Yeah, we lost your camera, Chris.
all right,
Or your screen share.
there we go. Let's see if I can
Yeah, camera's back. There you go.
clear.
Okay, so I see it. Okay.
So there's my version of that hill on a yard. It's opposite hand of what you saw on the map.
Right.
To me, the west is going left, basically the same as it was on the map, but it's just, well, I'm looking at my laptop is probably mirrored and you're probably seeing it the right way. So that's my version of that hill on a yard, like I just showed you on the thing. So that's in my.
Yeah, I remember you starting at this point when you first started building this.
Right, and here's the Y. I need to
nice.
build. I need to build the rest of the Y on yet, but those will be the legs of the Y right there, and then you.
Right. You can
head
pop
out
out a
and-
peninsula there for the Y.
Yeah. And then what I'm probably going to do is just going to put a short peninsula on there, but then I'm going to make a mobile modular unit on wheels so that during op sessions I could just put some fictitious industries on there for the guys that really like to switch industries, because there really isn't going to be much switching other than trains. But
I always think about, if you wanted extended scenery for running versus access, you could do fold down shelving that fold down to the rear somehow and has some level of height restriction, but you could pop that back up and get an extended industry out.
Yeah, my yard would have normally seen 3 to 4 transfer runs. I just have a display cabinet on a roller where wheels that are stored under the train layout. Though when I need to get under there, I move it out, and there's my 3 transfer runs.
Chris,
Yeah.
Robert wanted to know if you were going to build a mountain inside of the helix, how far apart would you set the loops?
Well, there is going to be, looking back at this, if he's talking about this helix,
Yeah, probably.
there literally will be one up here, because like the map we saw, you're going to come out here, and I don't have the bench work built quite yet, and then it's going to circle back, climbing and over the top, and then that mountain we were looking at where they cut through the edge of the ridge actually is what it is going to be in the back corner over there before you circle around and head back down. So I'm going to have to build up in this corner. I'm going to have to build some kind of a structure off the center of this
to support a mountain there.
To support the mountain. And I might have to try and do something lift out. So first thing I'm going to do is build just the ribbon road bed like this and a bare minimum frame to support it. And then I'm going to figure out what it's going to take to add to it. As you can see on this one here, it's just box frame, standard box frame.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a pop-up module, right? In a sense that it could be built on foam board with very little structural support needed underneath.
Right, because at the end of the day, I've got to see if I can get back far enough that you can see.
Heck, you could have that pink foam, pop out. You could take that pink foam outside for photography.
That's true. I can't get a good enough shot to show you
back in here and pop it inside of some edging on the frame there.
I've got to add some more bench work going from about this corner running off this way to let it come out to about this white pole and then circle back to do those big 2 loops that we were looking at.
Yeah,
it'll make more sense. It'll make more sense when you come back.
That lower S.
Yeah.
Go back to that corner, Chris. Is that going to be like you're going to do that ledge but facing the opposite direction, if you will?
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like the train's going behind the mountain.
Yeah, so it's going to be going back to this, and I don't know how well it's showing up.
It's a bit foggy, but
it's not showing up real good on my screen. But let me try my other camera. My other camera will probably work a lot better. Be right back.
That is very interesting what he's doing.
So did you just draw out this plan, or did you actually use any kind of computer-aided software to help you with it?
Yeah, I do. I'm a CAD guy. Used to be, and so I did it all in CAD. I actually spent about 4 years planning it before I ever built the first piece for it.
What CAD program did you use?
AutoCAD. Let's see if I can get this other camera to come on here.
Uh-oh.
Chris,
and if I get a chance one day.
Did you hear the question?
No, I don't.
Troy wanted to know which CAD program you used.
Oh, AutoCAD? Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. So, all right, you didn't use like SCARM or Atlas or AnyRails or any of that then, huh?
No. Okay, I got the right camera working now. You can hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. As soon as this focuses, there we go.
Okay, that's a lot better, Chris.
A lot better. So what you see right now is only like right here. That frame with the helix is going to be inside of here. So I need to extend the bench work out here and come back so I can do this loop. Up here is where the mountain, so to speak, is going to be, because it's kind of going to be, the center will be depressed. It's actually lower than the road bed. It is in real life. It's kind of like this road coming around the lower
So it's
loop.
like a basin or a gulch.
Exactly. And then up here, this is all raised. It follows the edge of a kind of a ridge. And as it climbs, so coming out of here, you can see that the siding ends there. And here's where it kind of follows the ridge, but this is all a lower basin, right?
Yeah,
And
because I
once it
remember
gets
on the
up-
map there was Joe something gulch there
Yeah.
below
As
where
you
your
come
finger
around
is.
here,
Way
it's-
below.
Here it's going to disappear because this will be like a mountain. So somehow I'm going to have kind of a ridge with trees to disguise it coming out here along the wall. So, you know, because this is coming out of that top half of the extra 1.5 turns of the helix. So somewhere when I come out here on the inside, I want to just kind of connect this, put some kind of a small ridge and a view block so that this kind of just disappears. I don't want to have a tunnel or anything like that. I want it to just come out from
It
behind
almost,
some
you know,
trees.
kind of begs for a tunnel, even though I know there isn't one in real life there. It's more of a cut
Well,
through on the mountain.
There is actually, the tunnel is way up here at the summit. So from here to here is so actually after this horseshoe curve, which goes behind a ridge and then it'll come back out. And the neat thing is I want to have the levels set so that when you stand right down here, which is the bottom of the stairs, if you come down the stairs into the basement, this is going to be my first signature scene. If you kind of squat down a little, you'll be able to look right up and not even see like this gap in the benchwork, even though you'll be able to walk in here. So this will be a signature scene. Up here, it's running along the ridge, the iron ridge. In real life, it would kind of go up here and do a curved trestle.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes back and does another curved trestle. So this is actually there too. It's a curved trestle on a grade, which is going to be real fun to make.
Yeah, because all they're doing is they're doing a cutout on the edge of the mountains as they're following the curves.
Right. And then it kind of does about a 90 and goes into this tunnel. I'm going to have to do 180 just because the way my basement's laid out.
Right.
And you go through the tunnel and like in real life, no more than about 15 cars after you come out of that tunnel portal, you're actually cresting the summit, and then you'd be heading back downhill. Then you head back downhill and get into the helix and go back into staging. It's all about climbing up that big, it's all about the mountain pass and trying to duplicate what's actually there. So,
I'm gonna have to fly out there, man. Check it out.
hey, oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty
I
wild.
got a lot, as you can see, I got a lot of work to do before May to get the whole upper deck done, and I got to get the track in on this lower deck now. And
That's gonna be one sweet looking layout, Chris.
it's going to be fun because I love running big trains. I'm bored with switching. I've done enough of that for 20 years. I want to run some. I just found I always just like running big long trains at the end of the day. So that's what I'm building
There's
for.
two layouts that we're sort of following neck and neck. Yours and Lloyd's.
Well, hopefully his is going faster than mine because I've been dragging this out for a long time now. But that's the beauty of having an open house. It forces you to get going and get stuff done.
Marty needs to run his Thomas backwards so he plays the Benny Hill music so he can move fast on it.
That I want to hear. I want to hear Thomas playing Benny Hill.
Yeah, UP Trayman 6936 said that looks sweet. Chris.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a long endeavor. I mean, I've been at this since I think I started design in about 2008, and it was almost 4 years before I did the first work on it. So yeah, it was probably later in 2011, I think, when I started with the helix, and before I did that, I was doing a lot of mock-ups, and I planned on originally just using 2x2s into my concrete block walls to support the structure, but I didn't like the way that worked out. I had about 15 feet of it done, and it didn't work right, so I ended up tearing it all out and then going to the 2x4 studs, and then I just framed it just like you would for drywall.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I tear the layout down, there's a selling point. You got studs up ready for drywall. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been at it. Well, I did start before 2011. I think I started in 2010 now I think of it, because I had ankle surgery in 2011, that kind of stopped me for almost a year.
Yeah.
Last 3 years, I've been hitting it hard. Or not hard, but not as fast as I see other guys build layouts.
Yeah, AJ said hide the exit from the helix with an access road bridge, a little wooden king or queen post bridge.
I can see what you're saying, and I would consider it, but I'm trying to do a very true to the prototype layout.
Yeah.
So everything that's going to be on here is going to be same as real. So there's really no bridge there. There's an open. I don't think I can bring the maps back up. What's really cool is like the areas around town. You can actually use Google Street View to see what's going on there. Oops, I didn't want to say.
Yeah, UP train man. When you started the new area of the layout in the other room, you just started this new section this year, right?
Yeah, this is all everything you see here with the right now in this room is all I just tore down my old layout. I don't know, when was it? September, August or something like that. 6
months ago.
Yeah, so this is all in the last 6 months, including the rest of staging with the return loops up here. Let me, basically everything you see in this room, there's the lower level, with the end of the peninsula, then all that staging track all the way back to where you can see the portal into the other room. Plus all of this, I mean, and framing the walls, and I've done all that since August or September. So moving along now, better than I had in the last 3 years. So.
How much square footage does that represent? All this space?
Oh God, I don't know. This room from.
That's your last picture.
Yeah, unplugged the camera.
Yeah, I got a touch screen, so when I grab my computer, so from this corner where that sump pump pipe is, in the corner of that helix, following that wall down to where you see that picture hanging, that's 33 feet. So then you're coming back this way another, I don't know, like 18 to the end of this peninsula. Then you head back another 18 to the other room, and then it's like another 18, at least 22, I think, to the back wall. Then it's 23 across the back wall where the hill in the yard is. So I think I figured out once in CAD, I just did a quick measurement. It's going to be like 450 feet.
I think it's more than that, because just the 33 by 18, that's about 94. Right.
Because it's actually going to do it all again on the upper level. It's just going to copy what you see on the lower level. It's going to copy that going all the way back. It's going to come right over.
Oh, just with one level, you're just over 1,000.
No, I mean real feet.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about square footage of the space there.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just talking linear feet of main line. It's going to be over 400, I think. But as square feet, it's an irregular shape. It's hard to say what it would be.
Yeah.
So I should show you this one. This is.
I mean, you're looking about dedicating just about 1,000 square feet or more. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So that's a picture of the curve.
It goes over.
Yeah. So that's going to be sitting right here in this corner. If that's the lower level. On the upper level, that lower level is going to be hidden behind all scenery, where it's going to be this right here is going to be what you see basically.
The curved trestle bridge.
Yeah, this is looking from the side where you're going to see it as more straight in toward the trestle from the middle of the valley below. So you can't tell how curved that really is in the picture there, but it's actually got a pretty substantial curve when you look on the aerial view.
It is. I mean, if you look, do you have a view map of that, right? Aerial view.
Yeah, I can bring that up.
Yeah,
so that's going to be a
bridge.
That's going to be another signature scene on the way out. It's going to be that trestle right there.
Dwight's asking, what size turnouts are you using?
I use number 6s in my yard, and going to be using mostly number 10s for passing sidings, 8s and 10s. I think my crossover I put in was 8s. I should have went with 10s. But I'm not limited for space because I'm doing long linear layout.
Yeah.
So for a passing siding, you know, a number 10 is definitely not out of the question.
Well, UP train man, his comment is, you want to talk to my wife, Chris, so I can get some real workable area. That way I don't need a lawyer.
There you go. I hear you.
And
I
he
had to
also
convince her
asked you,
that, you know what?
you're doing all servos too on your turnouts.
Yeah. Except for I have 2 on the Helix actually right now that are just, I had some tortoises, so I just threw them in there. So here you can see.
All right, Hillbilly Railroad said very nice layout, and he had to get to bed. So see you later,
Okay.
Hillbilly.
See you.
Hey Johnny, not to change subject, but to you, was that UP train man?
Yeah.
To his point, we're probably going to produce a issue of the E-Mag, which is its theme explores the spouse's viewpoint of model railroading.
Okay.
That's what we're sort of looking at, and we're trying to decide when. But that might help some way.
You might want to push that one up.
You should be doing it in time for Valentine's Day, right?
Oh, can't do it at the speed of light.
Do we need to have our attorneys present?
You might.
Here, I thought I was sharing my screen, and all you're seeing is my ugly mug the whole time.
No, your screen sharing now.
Train there.
Now I am, but I wasn't before. I thought I was. So here's that curved trestle. You can actually see that it's.
Oh, that's fairly, yeah.
Pretty substantially. It starts about here, and it ends about here. So there's a pretty good curve actually to it.
Yeah, it's just not the creek alone. The creek alone, but it's also the downhill. That trestle covers that whole valley.
Yeah.
So you're going to be there's a train going, in this picture.
Yeah, that actually.
You know what you ought to do? You ought to zoom in and print that out and frame it.
Yeah.
Before they change.
Because they must have updated this photography recently, because a lot of these didn't have trains, and what you did see was not. This is a amazingly good detail now. So there you can see. There's 3, so that's actually this one's actually running east or to the right on your screen, because otherwise you would never see 3 pushers on the rear end. So, well, come back. Now it really moved on me. I lost it. First it lags and then it jumps out of my. Oh, so here's the top of the mountain. This is where it's coming out of the. This is where it comes out of the tunnel.
Yeah. Okay. There it goes.
Now where my tunnel portal is, my tunnel portal will be about here, because they in the last 7-8 years they daylighted this out of back about 500 feet.
Looks like almost like a landslide back there.
Yeah,
like
that's because they
tore apart.
That's because they daylighted about 500 feet of that tunnel. So they tore it out. It used to be all covered all the way out to where my mouse is here.
You can look at some of the, the like potash or some other minerals coming out of the mountain there.
I don't know if I can get this thing to move a little bit. You can see I just wanted to show you the second curved trestle like that, but we ended up at the top of the mountain instead. So as you can see, it comes. Yeah, so it comes out of this one, makes about a 90-degree and a little more curve. So this is the end of my peninsula, like I was showing you, and then you go into the tunnel.
Right.
But if you look over here, come on, you can get there. Lo and behold, now I went right past it. There's another curved trestle right here. Unfortunately, I didn't have space to do both of them, and I don't think I had the inclination to build 2 of those trestles, so I omitted this one. But there's actually there's 2 of them, the Greenhorn trestle and the Austin Creek trestle. So that's what really drove me to model this area because I'm looking at my basement and I was really liking what I saw in Montana, and I wasn't sure which section of the MRL I wanted to do until I ran across this one. It's like, oh, this is perfect. We got curved trestles, we got tunnels, all the things that fit a basement without being unrealistic. A lot of when you build in your basement, you got to have a lot of curves versus a lot of straight. So
Chris, are you going to build a trestle scratch built, or are you going to build it from a kit, or?
No, I'm going to use the micro engineering. Makes almost the perfect pieces for that. So that's what I'm going to use.
I like that name over there, Iron Ridge.
Yeah. So going back to here, this is the S curves, and then you work your way back to Helena. So that's it's a perfect thing to model because when you turn back on yourself in the corner of your room, it does that in real life too. So I don't have to exaggerate much of anything. I can model a prototype in its real configuration without having to have a 300-foot linear basement.
Yeah.
JD.
Yeah.
AJ said, make that spouses and parents.
Well, you know what? Somebody wants to write that article?
AJ.
AJ.
How to negotiate for real estate in your basement, right? Is that what
I mean, by the way, I don't know if you remember on one of
boundaries.
the past Hangouts, we had this discussion about, with Sam, and that's how it all started. And we've already had one article towards that.
Yeah.
So I'm not kidding when I'm not joking about that as an issue. We're seriously looking at that. It's a topic that I don't think has been covered by mainstream model railroading publications.
Not that I've ever read.
Yeah. I mean, I like to pick topics that are rare and hard to, find information on, and that's a challenge for us to produce. But the community always comes
for space.
Yeah, I just want to jump in and say, Stunhanger, you're in the chat now.
The main thing with people like us that don't have basements is how to throw out your relatives and commandeer a room.
Or how to keep them out in the first place. That's the one I'm battling right now.
Yeah.
Easiest way to get them out is just to keep increasing their rent.
Yeah, so last summer.
What rent?
That's the problem.
Yeah, y'all hang on just for a second here. Stunhanger, if you go back to the community page where you found the link for the live show chat, there's also a link that says panel link. You can click on that and they'll bring you into the panel here.
I need to get going, but so although we do have some room on the panel, but it's good seeing you guys.
Yeah, good seeing you, JD, and having you in here.
Yeah,
You too.
absolutely. And Marty, don't forget, buddy, I'm looking for something for the July issue from you.
I'm going to start scribing. Do you need it translated?
Yeah.
I just might. So
I'll start putting something together.
yeah, because talk about the raspberry stuff and all that what you've got going there, and I think that'd be awesome. And Newcastle, buddy, Josh, Mr. Cohen there. Can Josh hear me?
Can you hear us?
Start focusing on the operations.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get that started.
Yeah. So before you know it, end of summer will be here. So that's what we're targeting. It was your idea, Josh. It was your idea.
I know. I got so much stuff on my plate, working different stuff. I'm working on some other guy's project.
Think about it, what you want to do, and start thinking early, and that way when the summer rolls around, you'll have something ready to go.
Yeah, I need to start on it now because I feel a little bit of a spelling I forget what it's called though. I have a little bit of spelling problem. disability.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta work on it. Just another thing on my plate.
Well, if you don't get started, Josh, JD's going to call the principal.
Well, I think
I'm not gonna give out the number. And he doesn't even know my school.
Don't worry. We have ways of finding out everything.
Probably Andy.
I just called. Yeah, you're right. I just called Andy. Hey, Andy, buddy. I need to get to Newcastle.
Hey, can you get it hanging in some other email or something?
No, it was a good idea you suggested, Josh. It was absolutely a good idea. We've been kind of thinking about it, and then you said, "Hey, do it." That's like, all right, you got it, and now we're gonna do it. So.
Yeah, I know. I keep saying I'm going to start it, and then I get working on maybe tortoises, then I start working on the layout, and then I start working on chores, and then it just.
Well, that's why I'm giving you a heads up early. You know, we're looking at late summer. So.
All right.
All right, gentlemen. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out too. I
All
didn't
right,
realize
JD,
it was
have a
going
good
on
one.
11 already. So
Yeah.
Chris, that was awesome view of the layout. And Marty, I liked seeing that Thomas. That was awesome.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to. Johnny's got me scheduled for like June or something like that. Hopefully, I'll have the whole main line up and running. That's my goal, and I'll give you guys the full tour then. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Chris, by the way, you know, we are targeting July for the electronics issue.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
We'll do what we can.
All right. I haven't got too long here, so appreciate JD.
See you guys.
Yeah, I got one other question in here. UP Train Man was asking, so can you do a switching layout in modules? And Stun Hanger, hang on, I will get with you on the link there. Yes, sir, you can do switching on modules. There's a lot of people that do that, and they look good too.
Yeah, and the neat part is you can swap them out. You know, if you only have, you can join them or mix them or match them, build one, then build another one, and modules are perfect for switching.
Yeah. Yeah. Here comes Ralph.
Yep. Hey guys, I gotta step away for 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay, and I'm gonna jump out here, so I'll see you guys next time.
All right, Chris, appreciate it.
Good night,
Chris. Hey, Chris.
Night.
See you guys.
All right, looking
Good
good.
afternoon.
Stun Hanger. If you go over to the community page, the YouTube Model Builders community page, you'll see the post for the show tonight. And if you go down in the comments and click there, you'll see where I posted the link. The first link will be for the watch this show over on YouTube with the chat, and the second link is for the panel. If you click on that, it should bring you in here. Okay, well, yeah, you'll have to get over to the community page there. Let's see. Well, I can't do that. I tell you what, Stun Hanger, email southeastrails@gmail.com. You know, after the show here, I'll check my email, and we'll see if we can't get you in the after show hangout. I can't go back and get any links while I'm here in the show right now.
I can do it. I can post it.
No, Well, the thing of it is, Ralph, you'll have to screen share the community page so he can see it
Okay, I can do that.
and see how to get to it. I'll put you up full screen so he can see it.
Okay, and it's just back here. So that's the one you're looking for. The panel link.
Yeah, but he needs to get to the community page.
Oh, okay.
That's the part he can't get.
I started off on YouTube Model Builders.
YouTubeModelBuilders.com.
Yeah. And then I end up on this. That's the page. So come down here to the YouTube Model Builders and click on this. And it brings you to this page.
That's the community page.
Community page. And then when you click on this, oops.
Just posted a link for him in the messages.
He can't see the messages here.
Well,
So there, when you click on the bottom where the name is, or where the this
post.
end, yeah, here. If you click on this, it opens up and it gives you the panel link and the show link. So this is on YouTube. This is on Google.
Hopefully I'll help you out there, Stun Hanger. If you find that community page over on the left, click the green box that says ask to join. That'll make it easier next time to get in here because that'll come up on your page.
Yeah.
All right, somebody starting the after show.
Can you guys hear me again?
Yeah.
Hey, had a question earlier. Where do these numbers from turnouts come from? I mean, when you talk about Atlas number 5 versus an Atlas number 7, I mean, is there any real significance to that number, or is it just the next design or something?
it's the degree of the Y section of the turnout.
The divergence section.
Right.
But not every company is equal, so.
No, they're not. That's the problem.
Atlas is not the same as Pico. Pico's not the same as Shinohara.
Shinohara and Pico are pretty close.
They're close.
And they're about as close to the actual degree as possible. Atlas and most of the other cheaper ones don't.
Right. Now, if you,
Okay, so generally the bigger the number, the smaller the angle.
yes.
Smaller the angle, yeah. That means you take how would you say, a wider amount of track. If you go to, say, a number 5, your turnout's going to be real sharp. If you go to say a 12, then your turnout's going to be very wide going out. You're going to have a bigger radius.
A very long turnout.
Right.
All right. Hang on. Hey, Josh, you still there?
Yes.
Can you start up after show hangout?
Yep.
All right.
I won't be in it, so I'll
Yeah.
start one up.
Yeah, if you just start one up, be good.
I'll just you want me to use Edwards' old hangout or just make it just brand new one?
Just start a new one and call it the after show.
Okay. Working on it right now.
Yeah, and Dwight, if you don't mind, jump in there so it'll stay open. How you doing, Stunhanger? Your mic's muted. Should be right in the center at the bottom of the screen. When you move your cursor around, you'll see the microphone, hang up button, and the camera. You on the road, Bob? Yeah. We can't hear you, Bob. Your mic's not working. It's not muted, but it's not working.
You might have to refresh. Back out, go back in.
Yeah, Bob's familiar with that. Hi, Stunhanger, can you hear us okay?
You got a mute button on the mic, maybe?
No, we still got no audio. Two more quarters in the slot.
There we go.
Okay.
I had to change which microphone I was using. It used to work just when I plugged it in, and all of a sudden it decided to go to some other one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So now we'll work on trying to get Stunhanger's microphone working.
Not yet.
Huh? Think? No. I tell you another thing, Stunhanger. Put your cursor up near the top. Alright. So you on the road, Bob?
Yeah. Yeah. Michigan City, Indiana. Kind of ironic, which is weird. Why not just be Indiana City?
Yeah.
Well, you don't
it's right
get
there
much
on
time.
Lake Michigan, I guess. So.
You don't get much time for railroading.
No.
How about now?
Yeah, we got you now.
I don't know why, but my boom mic ain't working here.
Huh.
I must have something wrong.
Well, what you can do is also on the Hangouts is go up to the top right-hand corner of your screen, and you'll see a gear up there. You click on that, because that'll show up here on the screen. And you can click your camera you use and the microphone and what kind of speakers. And once you're done, just click done.
I don't know how I lost you on, I used to have you guys on my, you know, where I could find you, but now I can't find you anymore.
Well, we're in the YouTube Model Railroaders group. Always post something up there.
Yeah, I do a live show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 2 hours now.
Yeah, that's good. Tell you what, you found the link to this, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now go back to that same place.
Wait a minute. Okay.
And you'll probably see where Josh just posted a after show.
Yeah.
All right. You want to click on that link. I'm fixing to shut all this down, and that'll be a regular hangout.
All right.
I got this one recorded here.
So what do I do? Just log out of this?
Yeah, just close this one and then go to his post and click on that link, and he'll bring you into his hangout.
All right. See you then.
Yeah, Dwight should already be there.
Okay.
See you on the other side, John.
All right, Ralph. We'll catch you over there. Troy, did you you know where that link is?
I'm looking for it now. You said it's on the page there, right?
Yeah, same page that this show was posted on.
Yeah, Newcastle Railroad Cohen.
Yeah. Newcastle Railroad Cohen. Yeah, he's probably got it labeled after show.
Yeah, Thursday after show hangout.
Yep, I see it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we'll see you over there.
Signing off.
All right. Yep.
And I'll do my quick little sign off here, and I'll join you guys over there then.
Okay. See you later.
All righty. All right, folks. A little bit of unusual ending there, trying to get Stun Hanger in here, get him back into the Hangouts again. He's been out for a little while. Keep checking in on the YouTube Model Builders website for all the latest news and info on the Tuesday night presentations, the EMAG, and the live show schedules. The live show is once every month. The EMAG is bi-monthly, comes out every other month. The Tuesday presentations now are twice a month, the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. We also have a Wednesday night Arduino workshop. That is on Wednesday night, and it's the first and third week of each month. When you go to YouTubeModelBuilders.com, you can also sign up for the EMAG. So when it comes out, you'll get a notification of that. It's PDF files, so you can read on pretty much anything, any kind of electronic equipment you've got. We've added 2 shows this year. We got Fine Scale Build that just aired last week. This week it aired. And that's a Tuesday night show there. So hopefully everybody's enjoying those shows. We appreciate if you would put comments on the videos here about what you think about them and what you'd like to see in the future. So we appreciate you coming in and watching. I want to say thank you, and we shall catch you next week on February 15th. We've got another Arduino workshop. That will be 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Y'all have a good night, good weekend, and we'll see you on February the 15th. Have a good night.